Welcome, guys, and welcome to all the viewers. Thank you for tuning in, and a special thank you to our panelists today. All the way from Pakistan, we've got Amar Khan and we've got Mehreen, as well as Omar Khan. Amar and Omar are also brothers, and they're in our chat from Islamabad, and Mehreen is from Lahore. They're all avid cosplayers. Thank you guys for being here.
No problem.
Thank you so much.
Pleasure to be here.
So we'll just be talking about how cosplay has changed their lives, or how it's taken a hold of Pakistan. And I hope you guys, everyone watching, also enjoys this. Let's get on with the questions we have for everyone, shall we?
Let's begin.
Yes.
Before the questions, actually, can we have like an introduction from each of you of like who you are, your names, how long you've been cosplaying, and so on, stuff like that.
My name is Amar. I've been cosplaying for almost 7 years now, give or take 7 years. I am a huge fan of, well, as you already know, Batman. Yeah, cosplay is currently a big part of my life, and it's amazing. And I'm also a co-founder of Rundown Universe, as well as the Sabeen Foundation. And I am also an avid cosplay prop maker, as in like I like to just make my costumes as is from foam. And yeah, that's about it. That's about me.
Hello everyone, my name is Mehreen and I'm from Lahore, and I've been cosplaying since 2015, and it's like one hell of a journey for me. Also, I am a huge anime and anime fan, and I also love gaming so much. Mostly whenever I cosplay, I mostly cosplay from games, not from anime. But cosplay is also a really big part of my life, because I made so many friends with them through cosplays and going out, having fun with in the cosplay community. And yeah, it's really awesome. I also make my own costumes, not the props, but the costumes myself, because I'm not a good prop maker. So yeah, that's about it. Just very nice meeting you.
Hi everyone, my name is Omer Khan. I am Amar's twin brother and a friend of Mehreen. I'm also a cosplayer. I've been cosplaying for about 7 years, just as much as Amar. Also, I'm the founder of Sabeen Foundation and a co-founder of Rundown Universe. I have been working on geek culture in Pakistan for about 2 years now, trying to get a lot of it popularized and normalized. Apart from that, I'm a big fan of comic books. Like, if you had to ask me what my favorite franchise of all time is, I guess I'd have to say it'd be Pokemon, because I've been playing that for 22 years now, and I'm a big fan of Pokemon. So that's more or less everything you need to know about me.
Nice. So are you playing the Pokemon Go as well?
Yeah, Pokemon Go, Pokemon Sword and Shield. I just bought the original red and blue version cartridges from way back when. Just trying to build up my physical game collection from scratch.
That's amazing. That's nice. So let's get straight to the questions. Let's start off with, do you guys remember your first cosplay, what you did?
Yes, I remember my first cosplay. It was, well, technically my first technical cosplay was during a Halloween party when I cosplayed as Jason from Friday the 13th, one of my favorite slashers of all time.
Yeah.
And if I want to do a proper Comic-Con cosplay, it was in TwinCon 2014, the first ever TwinCon. I dressed up as just an original character from Yu-Gi-Oh!
Okay. Yeah.
I just wore a red shirt, jeans, a black jacket, cool visor-like sunglasses, and a dual disc.
Nice.
And I just roamed around. I was like terrified at first, like, will anyone recognize me? And like, because Yu-Gi-Oh is not that popular here in the beginning, I was like worried no one was gonna figure out my cosplay. Then two of my now best friends ever approached me and is like, "Oh my God, you're cosplaying from Yu-Gi-Oh! That is so cool!" And I was like, "Oh God, thank God, someone noticed me. Someone recognized my cosplay," and it was like the highlight of my day in that event.
I think we've all been through that first time cosplaying moment.
I have to say the hardest part of cosplaying is making sure people recognize you.
Well, my first cosplay was Athena from Stacia. It's an old anime. Okay. Actually, I was like just watching it, and suddenly I saw that character and I was like, she is so like gorgeous. And that was my very first cosplay, and I did it in a very small event that happens in like a very you can say kids place like there's a kids place called Humpty Dumpty that they held an event for children, so I cosplayed there. And then my actual cosplay was Firecracker Jinx from League of Legends in 2015 that I did on TwinCon, and that was like starting of my cosplay journey. That was like one of the best cosplays that I started with. It was really fun because League is a really huge in Pakistan right now. It's on very top, and the League, being a gamer, I love characters like badass characters, and Jinx is also like a Harley Quinn of League.
Okay.
So when I saw her, and I was like, I must cosplay her, and then I actually did, and it was really hell of a fun when I did that cosplay.
Yeah, before I get into mine, I just want to say that I remember the event in 2015 where she came as Firecracker Jinx. We were there, and I remember the entire hall at which the convention was happening because she came late, and the entire hall turned around to see this little girl carrying this big cannon walking into the hall. It was quite the sight. And I think that was the time that we met for the first time, me and Marine. Yeah, so apart from that, along with Amar, technically, during a Halloween party was Freddy Krueger from the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise. Our basic idea was during Halloween, we were going to reenact the fight scene from Freddy versus Jason. So we dressed up as Freddy and Jason, but that was in October 2013. In February 2014, Amar dressed up as an original character. I dressed up as Jazz Princeton from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX. I dressed up as him, and just like Amar's experience, was really worried because Yu-Gi-Oh! Isn't that popular. We've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh! For 14 years at that point, and
you've been playing the card games.
Yeah, me and Amar, I've been playing the card game since 2002-ish.
Yeah, 2002.
And it was really hard to find people playing, but when you walked into that we walked into that convention, and these two guys who are now our best friends in the world came up to us and like, hey, you guys know about Yu-Gi-Oh! That's awesome. We put on a little show duel for them because we had our duel discs on, and they had little decks in them that we had made from scrap cards lying around the house. So we used those, and we had a little friendly match in the middle of the convention floor, and we gathered a bit of crowd. There's a video of it somewhere as well on Facebook.
Actually, it's in my feed somewhere, actually.
Exactly.
Awesome.
So it was just an overall fun experience. So my first official cosplay at a convention was Jazz Princeton from Yu-Gi-Oh! GX.
And did you guys get into the card game because you watched the anime, or you just found the cards beforehand? And
it was because of the anime way back. I think Amar could cover it better. He's the Yu-Gi-Oh! Expert between the two of us.
All right.
Yeah, actually, when it comes to me and my brother, we actually have a split in interest. We have the same interest, but some of us has more expertise than the other on some fields. So initially, in 2002, we came across the anime, and we fell in love with it. But just a little before then, I came across some of the cards, and I had no idea what they were. I just thought they were collectibles. Then when I saw the anime, I was hooked. But when it came to playing the game, we played through other people's decks at the time. Because we could not, our parents at the time, we were like 7, wouldn't let us buy the cards because they were like, oh, we'll just play with them for a while, or we'll just throw them around, which happened the first 3 years. But so yeah, of course, around 2003, 2004, like late 2003, early 2004, we finally got some cards coming our way for me and Omer, and we started making our own decks. Some were fake, some were real. At the time, we didn't care. So we just started playing constantly. Like if you did not find me and Omer like sleeping or eating, we were playing the game. It wasn't until 2006 where we started playing with real cards. And we started like making proper decks with teams and strategies, rather than just putting our favorite cards together. And it wasn't until I think 2014 or 2015 where Omer and I started dueling competitively, where we started making competitive decks to play online as well as with anybody who was available to play at the time.
Nice. I have played a bit of Yu-Gi-Oh! As well, but I wouldn't say I went that in depth, like competitive and everything, just for fun. But yeah, it's
Mhm.
pretty fun. Yeah. So I was just going to say I actually prefer the Yu-Gi-Oh card games over the Pokemon card games. That
Yeah.
that was also
Yeah.
out. Okay, so let's carry on. It does seem like cosplay has you've gone through so much with cosplay, even made new friends and stuff. And can you talk a little bit of how it has? How do you get your cosplay? Like some of you mentioned, like you make it. I don't know what else you do in Pakistan. How do like other people make or get or buy their cosplays?
In the beginning, I just used to just check what clothes I have in my closet and see if I can mix and match my clothes to see if I can look like a character from an anime, movie, TV show, etc. Like in 2014, I did an original Yu-Gi-Oh character. In 2015, I was going crazy to figure out what to cosplay, and I just decided, okay, you know what? I had recently had a muscle torn in my leg, so I was walking around with a makeshift cane that I used made out of an umbrella. So I was thinking, Doctor House. So I, so I literally just got a shirt, wore like really baggy, thick jeans, sneakers, a coat, and I literally bought like orange cased Tic Tacs and pretended they were Vicodin. So that's what got me the inspiration to do this type of cosplay. Omer and I did experiment with mattress foam because at the time we did not know how to get our hands on EVA foam. We created Flame Dramon and Magnamon from Digimon, and that was our official first foam cosplay. When it comes to stuff like that, then we started like learning more, like how to work with foam, how to understand, how to mold it the way we want to. Then around 2019, I did Batman, my first ever Batman cosplay with the Batman v Superman armor, the battle armor that he wore. I did that suit. Omer did Iron Patriot from Iron Man.
Right.
And that was our first ever.
Make your own costumes as much as possible.
Yeah, ever since that event, ever since I got our hands on EVA foam, I've been starting to work on my own cosplays. And this entire ensemble I made myself using EVA foam. Throughout time, I've slowly improved how to work with foam.
The more you do, the better you get with experience.
Yeah.
And is it the same with Mehreen and Omar as well, I'm guessing?
Well, making armor out of foam is quite hard for me. I did just once. I did it in 2018, and I did a Sylvanas Windrunner from World of Warcraft. That was my very first armor cosplay. I did it, and it was like I spent like 7 to 8 hours every day. Like I sit at 8 p.m. and get up like 6 a.m. to finish that cosplay, and it took me like a whole month to make armor. After that, I was like, no, I'm not gonna make any more armor cosplay again. What this was like so hectic and so hard for me. But other than that, for other costumes, yes, I look at the materials and the clothes. What kind of a clothes is very good for that material for the costume, and then I go out with my mom to collect the clothing, and then came back and make that set. I don't prefer buying it online because it's hella expensive, and also they cost shipping a lot here in Pakistan as well, so they charge a lot for that. So it's better to spend that money, to save that money and use it on something else rather than buying that cosplay and spend 20k on one cosplay. That's no for me. So that is why I make my own cosplay. It's more easy and much reasonable for me.
Yeah, definitely. Costumes are really expensive. I don't know, for some reason. And Omar, is a similar experience to your brother?
Yeah, very similar experience. Actually, usually when it comes to me, I prefer what is called closet cosplays. So like you go into your closet, see if you have any clothes that fit the character, or if you need some articles of clothing that could better fit, go and buy them. An example of that is we went to a Middle East Film and Comic Con in Dubai last year, me and Amar, and I needed costumes to put together, cosplays to put together. So I found out I had the jacket and a pair of jeans. That would be great. I had some foam, and I just needed a raincoat, and boom, I did Cicada from The Flash, the season 5 villain. So I just put together the Cicada cosplay and we were good to go. I also realized I had this red cloth that comes down to the front on 2 sides and full covered on the back. So I was like, oh, there you go, Ermac from Mortal Kombat. and we already decided what one of our cosplays were, which is one of our popular ones. It's Miguel Antonio from Road to El Dorado, which is mine and Amar's favorite movie.
I was actually a huge fan of their Miguel and Tulio. I was like hell geeking out when I saw them in the convention. I was like, oh my god, you're from El Road to El Dorado. You're Miguel and Tulio. I actually really loved their cosplay.
I think that's the good thing about cosplay. You can mix and match, and it doesn't always have to be armor, or it doesn't always have to be like a popular anime game or Marvel DC stuff. It can be like so much more, like everything, every type of pop culture. And of course you do the armor and all that, it's amazing, it looks great, but there are lots of alternative ways of doing different types of cosplays as well, I feel, with clothes that you already have, which is pretty amazing, like the creativity that you can use, right?
Exactly. It's like there's a whole, cosplay is not limited to any singular fandom or a singular piece of media.
Yeah.
As long as you have the resources to put it together, you can become anyone from anything. I mean, one of my favorite cosplays that I've done is one of the simplest that I've done. It's Professor Oak from Pokemon.
Oh, nice.
I did it in 2015 and I did it again in 2016 for a photo shoot. He's definitely one of my favorite cosplays that I've done because, funnily enough, my full name, Omer Ahmed Khan, is O-A-K, Oak.
Okay.
So in the Pokemon community here in Pakistan, they actually call me Professor Oak because I've been playing the game for 22 years. I know a lot about Pokemon competitively and lore-wise. So they just referred to me as Professor Oak, and I thought it'd be a good idea to do the namesake cosplay.
Okay, can I also start calling you Professor Oak then?
That's fine by me.
So,
I'm actually planning on getting a PhD so I can make my students in any lecture hall call me Professor Oak.
nice, I think that would be amazing. So moving on, we want to know, like, how do people in Pakistan perceive like cosplay? Like, I'm not sure about Pakistan, but in Nepal, a lot of people might not know cosplay or have heard of cosplay. And like, if you are seen cosplaying, or if you're going to an event and you're already in like your costume, how do people perceive you when they see you? What are their reactions like?
When it comes to, let's say, for a Comic-Con, when you're in cosplay, depending on the cosplay, people are very excited to see you in costume. Although in the beginning, even today actually, some people don't even understand the concept of cosplay. Not everyone. But when you go to, like, say, a Comic-Con or a event that it requires you to dress up, then cosplay is considered fun, interesting, it's cool. That they find it interesting that someone has managed to put the effort to dress up as a character. Some people, because of, in some cases, they manage to just sneak in religion into the argument, that, oh, this is sinful, or this is bad. I can't help but ask how.
Yeah.
I just ask how, and they they don't answer. They just keep saying that it's bad, and I just ignore them. And I kind of have to. You can't really argue with such people here. A lot of people, cosplay is understood. I mean, in my personal experience, some people just either don't understand what cosplay is, or just see it in such a negative way that they just don't want to understand it. But for people who do understand it, it is respected, it is accepted, and they do enjoy seeing people in cosplay.
I agree with Amar here actually. Before there wasn't that much knowledge about cosplay in Pakistan, and if you're all dressed up with wearing a wig and a makeup, people will look at you like, what the hell? What are you doing? What are you wearing? It's like their reactions are like shocked, because they don't know what cosplay is, and also they also think that why you are doing this, you're adult, you should do this, you should do that, you should proceed this, you should proceed that. That is the major mentality in Pakistan, majority of people in Pakistan actually. But it also, there are a lot of people like us geeks, that actually wanted to come in a cosplay community, but they can't, because sometimes they don't get support from their family, and their family thinks like, no, why you are doing this and that. I just sometimes as Amar said that, yeah, they bring religion in it as well. Like, what's religion has to do with that? We are not harming religion. We are not harming anyone. We are doing what we like to do in the cosplay. We are just dressing up, having fun, meeting with friends, and just kicking out. My thing is, my family is bit of like, yeah, why you doing this? But they're also very supportive in cosplay. That okay, go ahead and do it. That is the reason I am doing it still now. Even though my brother is like, no, that is your last cosplay, and then he was like, okay, Joe, go do another one. It's okay. It's not fine.
And Professor Oak?
So building upon what was already just said, yes, if you're obviously among the people in that community, you will obviously be perceived as something that is good, something that, accepted. But if you're talking about the general mindset of the people, we have a bit of a cultural issue with it because we don't understand it. It's not something that we have seen coming forward. This cosplay community in Pakistan is still in its budding stage. I mean, we've only had it for about 7, maybe 8 years. Having people adopt to it is a bit of a challenge, although people are getting more accepting as time goes on. But the problem is that our media channels, they don't help. I think Amar and Marine can agree with me here that we
agree.
Yeah.
We've had broadcasts of TwinCon and Comic-Con Lahore go on air to the entire country of Pakistan, the 7th largest populated country in the world, and they call us ghosts and goblins and witches, and they call it in Urdu, we call it a Bhoot Mela, which is a ghost festival. We are doing whatever we can to try to mitigate and eliminate that mindset. It's going away slowly, but the problem is that once we get media on our side on that thing, they stop broadcasting it as something negative and as something more positive. I feel like we'll have a bit more of an edge and be able to change the narrative a bit. That's something what the three of us are working towards, and a lot of all the cosplayers in Pakistan are working towards. It's one of the things that that Sabeen Foundation is actually working towards for the last year or so.
That's really good. I think I can understand where you guys are coming from, because I wouldn't say it's as extreme as what you guys are facing, like the media calling it a ghost, show or stuff like that. But I do understand the general sentiment of how people are perceiving it, since they do not know what it is, and how being adults now that you should do more adult things, and this isn't really an adult thing to do. Get a job, stuff like that, get married and stuff. That I can understand. I think it's pretty similar in Nepal as well. I think, yeah, a support from the family and friends is also always welcome. It goes a long way. But yeah, I think you guys have it a little bit more tough than here in Nepal. I think people have started to be a little bit more accepting in Nepal. The cosplay culture has also grown in Nepal, like around the same time that it sounds like around the same time that it has grown in Pakistan as well. And yeah, I think people have been more accepting, but sometimes I feel like they still don't understand. They feel like I feel like a lot of people who are outside the community is more like an attraction for them. If they want to do an event, they want to call in cosplayers as an attraction, and they don't understand that cosplay is a very big part of someone's life and hobby. And it's not just you don't just buy a costume, put it on, and go out there like, I don't know, like one of those showmen. It's not really like that. That I think is something people still need to understand, that it's a whole community. It's much deeper than just like doing a costume job kind of per se.
Yeah, when he's talk about that, they're just calling cosplay as an attraction. There's one event that came in my mind. Me and one of my friends was there. They asked us to be the judge of the cosplay competition. I was like, okay, fine. We were like, me and my friend were excited that, wow, we will meet more people and we will see more cosplayers. And the movie, they asked me to become cosplay. And I was like, okay, I might not do it. My friend did. He did a really awesome cosplay. But when we went there, there was nothing. no cosplayer or anything at all. And I was like, what they want us to judge here anyways? Like what? And then I talked to one of the guys who arranged this, and I was like, cosplayer will come, don't worry, don't get up. And after like 20 or 30 minutes, there were only like 6 or maybe 5 cosplayers, and they don't even know how to act on what characters they were doing. They're just showing it off, and I was so embarrassed kind of that they call us as to cosplay and come and judge their cosplay competition when there are no cosplayers. They don't know what to do and anything. So it's really a wasteful time for us. It's like they were just mocking us, all the cosplayers.
I have a similar story as well. I think this was in 2017 or 2018, somewhere on that line. 2018 actually. What happened was that a university was hosting a major event, and part of it was a Comic-Con. At the time, I was doing a radio show for the university, and I was like, sure, I'll go to the event. I will give my honest review about it. I went there, and all it was one big tent with the same Tokyo Ghoul opening on repeat. And me and like 3 of my friends were the only cosplayers there. Everybody else just showed up. And because one person actually cosplayed Mikasa, all the guys for some reason started like gathering around her to take pictures. Yeah, that's all that happened over there. So all we did, we literally left the area, took a few photos in this little deserted area because it looked nice for photography, and literally just left.
Yeah, so building upon what they've said, actually, that's another thing that is going on over here in the cosplay community. People are having these cosplay events because they hear about the success of like stuff like TwinCon and Comic-Con Lahore, and what they want to do is they want to just organize an event. They use the names of TwinCon and Comic-Con Lahore to gain sponsorships. These guys did the events, we can do it well too. And then they get these sponsorships, they don't advertise it well, they don't handle it well, and then nobody shows up, and they just basically use the convention, like the cosplay convention name, to just kind of make a little money and call it a day. Then you don't see cons like that on repeat every year. Like TwinCon did for 5 years. Then Comic-Con Lahore did it every year for purposes of community retention. And then you have these one-off conventions that are just there to make money off the cosplay community. They just happen once. They're not organized well. They make money and then they just disappear.
Yeah, that is a problem. Yeah. And the biggest effect is to the community,
Exactly.
It hampers the community the most when people do stuff like that. Yeah. So we've talked quite a bit now, but can you tell me like why you guys got into cosplaying, like in the first place? Like what made you want to cosplay?
In my case, it was when I heard about TwinCon 2014. When I heard that was happening, I was like, I want to go. I will meet some amazing people with the same interests as me. But at the same time, I was like, it's no fun to go to, in my opinion, it's no fun to go to a Comic-Con if you don't cosplay. This was my mindset.
But you knew about cosplaying before that.
Yeah, I've known about cosplaying since 2009, at least, because when Omer and I were in Australia in 2009, we used to get updates about some events that were happening at the time, and we saw a lot of cosplay photos.
Yeah.
So we were very interested in cosplay at the time. But in like 2014, when TwinCon, the very first TwinCon happened, I had this mindset that it'll be fun to go, but it'll be even more fun if we cosplay. And I was right. When I went there in cosplay, people approached us, they asked questions, they loved our costumes, they wanted to take pictures with us, they wanted to talk to us. I, in the beginning, was a very shy kid. I never used to talk to anyone. I think even today, I still don't. I don't talk to people that much. But cosplaying actually gives me this little confidence to talk to people when I'm outside of my comfort zone. What got me into cosplaying was the idea of cosplaying at a Comic-Con. But what made me continue to cosplay was the idea of this confidence and this excitement on being in a costume, in a cosplay, and walking across the con floor with people recognizing you, people wanting to talk to you, people wanting to take pictures with you, people wanting to know how you made your costume, what gave you the idea to do it, and making friends along the way.
I didn't know much about cosplay in Pakistan before. I used to watch videos on YouTube. Like there's an event going on, Los Angeles Comic Con, and then these Comic Cons going on. And I used to look at those videos, and I was like, wow, they are doing these costumes, and they're cosplaying as their favorite characters, and going on and having fun with that. And then I came to know about TwinCon 2014. I was like, wait, did that happen in Pakistan too? I didn't have any idea about this. And then I messaged that on that page asking about it. And suddenly they said that we have a little group of people, friends here, who make an event like that as well. And I was like, okay, that is so cool. I want to try it. I want to go in that event because it was so amazing to see people dressing up. And, you know, when I did my very first at the Athena from Sensia, and I was like, okay, this is so fun. Even though there were like 5 to 6 people, and I was like, okay, fine, doesn't matter. But it was fun that I dressed up and met a lot of these guys and made friends with them. I convinced my mom, I want to go to this event. Please let me go to the Islamabad because of the TwinCon. And then I went there for it with Firecracker Jinx cosplay. Everyone was like, oh, Firecracker Jinx, because they know Jinx is a huge champ in League of Legends, and she's my favorite one. I talking to people and giving my confidence a boost. Like, yes, I can. I'm open. I'm very talkative person. Honestly, in real life, I'm a very talkative person. I talk a lot. If I met my friends, like, give them more boost to have fun with them. And like Omer said, and this is what made him stay, and this is what made me stay in the cosplay community.
And Omar, what pushed you to cosplay the first time?
It's more or less the same thing. It was more the idea of not having to attend a convention without a cosplay at first. As Amar and Marine have put it so eloquently, that the confidence and everything you get when you put on a cosplay and you go to a con, that's what, let us stay in that community. I mean, I can't think of a convention where I didn't go not in cosplay. I mean, there were lots of events where even if I thought for a second, okay, I just want to go have fun, talk to friends. Even then I decided, no, I'm going to look in my closet, maybe find something to dress up as. If nothing else, I'll put a dual disc on my arm and I'll go in as a Yu-Gi-Oh character. But there's no event in Pakistan I can think of that I didn't want to go in a cosplay. And every time I went, I met a new friend, I met a few new people. Just that sense of community when you're in cosplay that you feel at a convention is probably the best feeling that I've ever felt in the world.
And that was one hell of a journey for us, the cosplay. Yeah. Starting slowly, and along the way, we're making friends with each other, knowing each other, sharing our thoughts, interests, and that is what makes cosplay so special for us.
So we've talked about a lot of different types of cosplays, from games and anime and Marvel, DC, Flash, pop culture and stuff. But in Pakistan, what do you see most of? Like, is it mostly Marvel and DC stuff, or do you see some anime and game stuff as well? Is it like a mixture of things? What is it? What's more popular? Because in Nepal, currently, the cosplayers that attend our events are usually anime based. Most of them are anime based. There are a lot of games and Marvel DC based, but the majority is anime based at the moment.
In Pakistan in particular, I would personally say, from what I have observed, is mostly anime based, more particularly towards Naruto and One Piece for the most part. And to be fair, they are really popular anime. It does make sense. You do see a very good mix of cosplays here. Some people cosplay comic book characters, video game characters, even characters from a movie or drama that they find popular. That's what mostly cosplay is. But if you were to narrow down exactly what is the most popular set of cosplay, I would have to say it's either a Naruto cosplay or a One Piece cosplay.
And do you guys agree, Marine and Omar?
Yes, I agree with that too, but I also see a lot of DC cosplays as well. That is certain. Mostly I see a lot of Jokers and Harlequins walking around in the convention. It's not like I see any that much of a Marvel ones, but anime and DC ones are mostly in.
Yeah, I would have to agree with both of them. For the most part, you'd see a lot of Kakashi and a lot of Akatsuki cosplays at conventions, and then you see a lot of Jokers. It's a nice, healthy mix overall. There is a bit of a leaning towards anime, overall, if I had to say, it's a healthy mix of everything. But you do tend to find a skew towards either towards anime or towards whatever is the most popular thing at the time. For example, if a Star Wars movie just came out 2 months ago, there's a good chance to see a bunch of people with lightsabers running around.
Definitely. Yeah.
When we had Infinity War come out, we had a lot of people dress up in some Marvel characters. More leaning towards anime, but it's also dependent on whatever's the fad at that moment, whatever's the current pop culture phenomena at the moment.
When I actually first started talking to you, I actually thought Marvel DC was more popular in Pakistan. But it's good to see that anime is still one of the most popular in Pakistan as well. And I think it's really growing the anime fan base and momentum around the world, especially in our subcontinent. Even in Nepal, like last year we had Kimetsu no Yaiba, which was really popular. So there's this whole group, the whole team of Kimetsu no Yaiba, which was pretty amazing. But one of the most random cosplays that we've also had in our event was someone wearing a Donald Trump mask. So that was the most random one I've seen. But we did have some good, Marvel DC stuff as well. Of course, like Joker, especially after the Joker movie, that became really popular. And we also had the Daredevil, the Netflix series Daredevil.
Yeah.
And before he got his suit, when he was still wearing the black.
Where the black or stuff, yeah.
That was pretty nice. But yeah, it's good to see that it's very similar in Pakistan as well.
Commenting on the Donald Trump guy, we have a cosplayer who is a fantastic cosplayer. His name is Walid. He also he wore our traditional attire of Pakistan with a Thanos mask and a gauntlet.
Oh, nice.
And he came into the convention floor, started doing our traditional dances on stage. It was a really fun sight to watch.
Yeah, it's always good to see like a mixture of cultures and like mixture of different characters and stuff as well. They're pretty interesting as well.
He cosplayed that Thanos in almost every way, like a punk Thanos and then Desi Thanos and I don't know what kind of Thanos as well. It was very fun to watch him in a different, ways. So yeah, it was really fun.
Yeah, it's always fun to see these mixture of things, cultures and characters as well. Actually, people can do a mixture of characters or like a gender bender as well. They're always pretty interesting. So Marvel or DC, if you guys had to choose one, what would you choose, Marvel or DC? And what do you think the majority of Pakistan would choose?
Personally, in my personal opinion, I prefer DC. I like the characters. I love the characters. I grew up with Batman being my first superhero when I was 3 years old. Yeah. Although granted it was the 1989 film, I probably have issues with that. But then later I got to know about Superman, then I got to know about the Justice League, Green Lantern, Martian Manhunter, Hawkgirl, Booster Gold, all of these DC superheroes. And I just fell in love with the creativity and as well as the amazing villains. I'm pretty sure that if you were to ask anyone to name villains from DC or Marvel, majority of them would name DC villains.
DC villains are amazing. Yeah.
I think I will quote Samuel. I think it was Samuel Jackson that said that DC makes great villains and Marvel makes great heroes.
I don't know if I want to agree with that, but okay.
It's all based on opinion, of course, but he has a point on that, and I'll get to that soon. Eventually, no matter how you look at it, DC has a lot of amazing heroes and majority of villains that are all amazing. But nowadays with the Marvel Cinematic Universe, people are starting to lean more towards Marvel because those movies give them a better, easier access to all the heroes that are in Marvel. So yeah, I would say.
So you would choose DC though?
I would personally choose DC. I love Batman. I love Superman. I love the Green Lantern. I love all the villains. And I love the world. So, yeah.
I am not that much into DC or Marvel. But if I wanted to choose, I will choose Marvel, actually.
All right.
Not because of many heroes, because there's one character in Marvel that I really love. That is Rogue from X-Men.
Rogue?
That girl that absorbed... Yeah, the girl that... And also Storm.
I would have never guessed that you'd say Rogue, honestly speaking. From all the Marvel characters, I would have never guessed you would say Rogue.
she is not many people like her, I don't know, or knows about her, but she is really awesome. I really like her. I used to watch cartoons on TV. They used to hire X-Men on TV, so Rogue was
The
always like
animated
so
series.
fascinating. And also there was Storm. These were like two of my most favorite ones when it comes to Marvel, X-Men. So yeah, but other than that, I am not that much a fan of Marvel or DC, but these two are the top ones for me. So if I wanted to choose, I will choose Marvel.
Okay, so we've got one Marvel, one DC. What's it gonna be, Professor Oak?
I
Can
can
I-
easily tell you the answer.
Can I pull a Henry Cavill and say Boom Studios? But on a serious note, I personally don't like to discriminate between Marvel or DC. I love all of them. I love all the heroes. But if I had to choose, gun to my head, I'd choose Marvel.
Oh, two for
Not
Marvel.
Yeah.
not because of any particular reason, but mostly because the thing, like Amar said, he got into comics and because of Batman. For me, it was the X-Men.
Mm.
So I grew up reading X-Men. I've actually read almost up until 2005 every issue of X-Men there is, all the major story plots. I actually own some very rare X-Men comics in real life as well, just because I'm such a big fan of the X-Men. That's probably the reason I'm going to lean more towards Marvel. DC is great. Like, they have their merits, but for me, Marvel just handles the team dynamic so well, like with stuff like Avengers, Young Avengers, X-Men, X-Factor, all of these little teams. They handle them so well that I love things with team dynamics, and I love reading stuff like that. So I prefer Marvel over DC for that reason.
As you said, I also don't want to discriminate. I love all superhero stuff, Marvel or DC. But if I have to lean in one, I am going to even the odds here and go with DC. And
Yeah.
practically more or less the same reason why Amar gave. I grew up watching DC. It was when I was a kid, DC was so much bigger and popular than Marvel. Yes, the X-Men and Spider-Man were really big, but I think the branding of Marvel wasn't there. Whereas for DC Comics, it was still there with Superman and Batman. Those two are the biggest superheroes. And growing up watching all these cartoons and superheroes was really amazing. So let's keep it a tie with 2 for Marvel and 2 for DC. So apart from Marvel and DC, do you guys also watch like anime stuff?
Yes,
Yep.
we do.
What would be your some of your favorite animes? Let's say top 3 animes. Would your recommendation be like those top 3, or would it be something else?
Oh, okay, this is a tough one again. Oh, I didn't expect your interview questions to be this hard. Okay,
You have to make it exciting, man.
I've seen a lot of anime in in my 18 years of watching anime. I'm gonna be perfectly honest. I never got fully into One Piece or Naruto. I tried. I honestly tried. It's just that I watched it late and I could not get into it.
Yeah.
If some people got into it, good for you. I'm glad you had fun. But personally, I did not get into it. I tried my best. If I were to pick my top 3, if I were to pick an entire series, I would have to put the Yu-Gi-Oh series, not the seasons, but the overall series. Number one, because I love the card game. I love the dark stories they portray in there. I love the build up. Some of the stories are good. Some of the stories need work. Some of the stories we don't even acknowledge anymore. But for a slice of life anime, because I like a lot of those too, I would say Ouran High School Host Club. I absolutely love that anime. It's one of the few anime that got me back into watching anime. The 2 anime that got me back into it were Ouran High School Host Club and Rosario Vampire. But Ouran High School Host Club had this nice little it had comedy, it had issues as well. Overall premise is just hilarious. It's fun. It's something anyone will get into. If you want something more of a suspense one, I have to say either Full Metal Alchemist or Death Note as number 3. Either one of the two. I love Full Metal Alchemist, but the original. And Death Note was insane. It's like a whodunit. You know who's done it, but the point is to figure out how, if they can figure out did he do it. I love criminal dramas a lot in the past few years, so Death Note would definitely be on the list as well. So yeah, these would be my recommendations.
If you ask my recommendation or my top three, it's really hard for me to decide because I love anime a lot. But since I started, my very first anime was Cardcaptor Sakura that used to hire on Cartoon Network here. It was like one of my most favorite anime. I really loved that. It's called like, all magic and stuff. And then I start watching Beyblade that also used to hire in Nami Kunatmi, and also Dragon Ball Z. These three were the animes that I always waited to watch, because I really liked them. And before this anime, there was a channel called AXN that used to hire an anime called Shadow Skills, and also Inuyasha.
Yeah.
These two animes. It was way back, like in 2000s or something.
Nice.
Oh my god, I love that. I hated when I started watching Death Note. Death Note was like top. I really loved that anime. Then came the most popular one, Naruto. It was kind of a start. In the first season was kind of a boring for me, but it started getting very good when I came to Shippuden. That was started like Shippuden was the best series, and now I really don't like that third season, that Boruto. I really don't like. I don't even watch it. And Naruto was the one anime that I used to read manga of as well.
All right.
I both watch anime and manga. And then came Attack on Titans, of course, the epic one. So in my recommendation, if you want to start with the cutesy one, you should go watch Cardcaptor Sakura or Tokyo Mew Mew. These are the cutesy girly type if you're into that one. But if you're into action one, go for the, Attack on Titans or Dragon Ball Z or Naruto. And also Inuyasha, yes. I won't forget Inuyasha because it's a classic one. So in my top favorite is first go for the Dragon Ball Z, second will be Naruto, and third will be my favorite Cardcaptor Sakura.
Okay, Omar, you have to say Pokemon, man. Dr. Oak, Professor Oak.
I am not gonna say Pokemon, but mainly because as much as I love the franchise, the anime just doesn't live up to any.
I only watched Pokemon till Johto season, Johto region. After that, I stopped. I was like, enough, no more. I'm done.
There's a lot of filler when it comes to Pokemon now, because they have to pad in the time for the release of the new game. But I'm gonna name 3 anime that I really like, and I'm going to try to avoid the more obvious answers like Boku no Hero and Demon Slayer, and mainly because everybody's already watching those. Why should I name those? So let's start with number 3. Number 3 is going to be Code Geass, because my god, that is a fantastic anime. It kept me up at night, made me question like the phrase absolute power corrupts absolutely. I totally believe in that now. It's like such a fantastic show with the roller coaster ride from beginning to end. The ending of that season still makes me question what happened. I think they're releasing movies to answer that. At number 2, Amar named the entire Yu-Gi-Oh series, but I'm going to pick one in particular from the entire, from the 7 series of Yu-Gi-Oh that have come out. I'm going to say Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5, because that is a good starting point to get into the game as well, because in the first few episodes, they teach you all the basic rules of the game, and it has this amazing story to deal with identity crisis and getting to know yourself. It's just an amazing story going forward. The ending is a little rushed because the studio wanted to push the new season, and they actually had it planned to be a little longer. I would have liked if they went on for another year, but obviously we can't all get what we want. But it was a fantastic season. I remember getting into fights with Amar because he wanted to watch the newest episode, and I didn't have time yet. So we'd have to wait like a day or 2 extra to watch the latest episode every week. Yeah, so I really recommend Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5. And at number 1, like Amar said, the original Full Metal Alchemist. I do like Brotherhood, and I do understand that people prefer Brotherhood because it gave us a lot of things we wanted. It gave us a longer story, it followed the manga more closely, and it gave us Winry X Edward. But I like the original because it didn't give us everything we wanted. it didn't give us the happy ending we'd expected from an anime. It gave us a ending that didn't have a resolution. We didn't know what was going on until the movie came out. I personally liked that approach much better. It does drag a bit compared to Brotherhood, but overall, the original Full Metal Alchemist.
All right, guys, I have to give you a pat in the back. Everyone, well done. Oh my God, I would have never been able to list 3 anime. Like, seriously, from all the animes I've watched, I would have never been able to give you just 3 animes. But I also realized one thing from our conversation. I think I can kind of guess all our ages and that we're all in a similar age bracket.
Yeah.
Because we all went with some of the really old school animes like, Inuyasha, and we're talking about AXN and anime and Cartoon Network, and we're talking about Full Metal Alchemist. These are all
There is also one more. But there was one more anime that I think most underrated anime. If anyone you guys know about it, Ninja Rovers.
Yes.
Any one of you, Ninja Rovers. That was used.
I'm not sure about Ninja Robots, but maybe you guys know Flame of Recca. It used to come in AXN.
Me.
It used to come in AXN. Yeah.
I know. I watched it. There was I used to watch that AXN channel when I used to go to my granny's house because I was not allowed to watch AXN here. So I used to go when I go there. I sit in my uncle's room and watch it. And if you guys know about Ninja Robots, then I will say you guys are legends because that anime was underrated, but it was very awesome and you used to hire on Cartoon Network Tsunami as well. Amar, Umer, I think you know that anime.
I do.
I think I know of it. I think I might have seen a few. I don't remember it that well.
Yeah.
I'm going to show my age over here and say Yu Yu Hakusho.
Oh, Yu Yu Hakusho is so good.
I love this. I love that one too.
So, yeah, we're
also
all in
there's
a
Sailor.
similar age bracket, I guess.
Yeah.
There was also Sailor Moon.
I am not ashamed to say I watched Sailor Moon and love it.
I am huge Sailor Moon fan and I love Outer Senshi so much. Sailor Saturn is my favorite one, hands down. That's it.
Sailor Mercury Best Bay. Sailor Mercury Best Bay.
We're all the same all over the world.
Yeah.
As we wait for Marina, I'm just going to continue and say, I don't know if it's because of our age, we all kind of mentioned all the good old animes. And as you get older, of course, you have less time to watch anime as well. But I think your preferences also change. The anime making style and storytelling style also changes and develops. And maybe that's why we have less the newer animes and we really reminisce the good old days, as we say. And, you guys did such a fantastic job in naming 3, which I said I would never be able to do it. Like you guys mentioned most of it, Brotherhood, that would be there. Maybe Rurouni Kenshin, Samurai X. You guys did mention that. For me, I think that would be up there as well. Inuyasha was really good. There was this Captain Tsubasa, Hungry Hearts. Back, if we're talking about the old animes. But some of the new ones, like you guys also mentioned, was like Demon Slayer, Attack on Titan, Boku no Hero Academia. Those are all really good animes, I feel. Death Note, Samurai Champloo.
Samurai Champloo is great.
So a friend of mine and I, we had this theory that it was around the time when Brotherhood also came out and Samurai Champloo was also pretty big. The theory was that if an anime series is around 24 to 27 episodes long, maybe up to 30 if you're pushing it a little bit, that anime series is going to be good.
Yes, I actually agree because a lot of cases, like when you see like 12 or 24 episode seasons, they wind up trying to do more with the episodes. They don't want to like stretch it. So they want to just get it over with the episodes. And that actually is better than than dragging it to just get to a certain number of episodes.
Yeah,
it works for some.
like One Piece, that they keep dragging One Piece.
Currently, it feels like they're dragging it a little bit more. Like each fight scene is going a little bit more longer and longer.
I understand the appeal of One Piece. I mean, whatever your feelings about One Piece are aside, I personally am not a big fan, but I understand the appeal. And I can see that, a lot of people like it. I just feel like any anime that has to stretch this long to get its story across, is probably doing something right, but also doing something wrong. Because having a story drag for too long just doesn't seem that appealing to me. I mean, I could say the same for, I guess, comic books, but I don't know. With anime, it's a little different. There are too many episodes for One Piece. It's getting hard for newer people to catch up and get into it, and it kind of just it does more harm than it does good, in my opinion. Otherwise, One Piece, I understand it's a very popular one, and if you watch it, that's all power to you. I'm not here to dictate your tastes. Just sharing my opinion.
I would actually like to add on to this. Like, if you're watching One Piece, go for it. I'm not denying that it's a good anime. I'm not denying that it's probably one of the best anime out there. I'm not going to deny that. I'm just saying that as you're doing a lot of more episodes, you're also like developing how the art style and the dialogue would be for the certain era, right? So for like say an episode, let's say like Naruto's been going on for maybe how long? 20 plus years, give or take? Almost, right? So the dialogue in the beginning is much different than the dialogue that it is now, especially with the progression of the episodes. As you adapt and evolve to a certain pacing, dialogue, and style, you can't get into the opening stuff, like the way how it used to be in the beginning, because the dialogue would be slow, the progression would be slow, the way they build up everything would take forever in the beginning. And if they're doing fast-paced now, that works. But if you want to get someone into it right away, it's going to be a problem. Personally, with what Yu-Gi-Oh did is that they had like 7 different seasons in separate pacings. If you don't like one, you can always watch the other with a different pacing and a different storyline. Same thing with Pokemon. You can join Pokemon in any of the random generation seasons without having to watch the rest. You can do that. But with One Piece, although it's amazing that they're doing so many episodes to tell a story, they're going to slowly, in my opinion, lose a fan base or getting people into the fan base because of it. It's just my opinion.
Honestly speaking, I actually do love these like One Piece, Naruto and stuff that's going on and on forever. And I think the reason why I love it is for people to like these animes, you have to jump in it at the right age. Because like you guys have been saying, if I try to watch like Naruto, One Piece in the beginning now, I'm not going to enjoy it as much because my age is different, my mindset is different. But for someone at a younger age to join in and One Piece now, they would still love it. And the anime and the characters develop and grow as you develop and grow. So it's like you've been growing up with these characters, like from Naruto and One Piece. And let's even put in Fairy Tail and, Bleach in there as well, because those 4 were the big, always ongoing animes. And honestly speaking, I understand what you're saying, like it's very difficult for people to get in the middle of One Piece or Naruto or any other animes and understand what is happening as well. And you have to start from the start, and it might be difficult to gain new followers, but I think the people who did get in it at the right time, I think it's an amazing feeling to grow up with these characters for so long, like 18 years now. So I personally love it and look forward to it. I agree they've been dragging it a bit too much, but I don't watch Boruto, like I mentioned, because Boruto was like a reset, for the younger generation now. But I do love Naruto and One Piece, and Bleach was actually my all-time favorite at one point before they ruined it. But one of my first cosplays was a Bleach character, in fact, and I still love it. I hope it comes back better than ever. Well, that's how I feel about these animes. All right, so one last question, still staying with the anime topic. Would you guys watch it dub or sub? What would you prefer?
I have no particular preference because it's all dependent on the studio when it comes to dubbing. Right? Some studios like to change the dialogues to like westernize it or modernize it to today's era, and some like to stick to the source material of the original dialogue. If you are doing dubbing to the original dialogue, then I don't mind dub. I would love sub. I love sub. But if you were to dub it and you follow the original taglines, like the original dialogue and the original emotions towards the dialogues, then yeah, I would prefer dubbed as well. But if you're doing like say what Digimon did when they dubbed it, when it was dubbed by 4Kids, like instead of like talking about the actual situation, they just talk about pop culture references, and they even gave like I think Etamon an Elvis impression in the dub. Yeah. And then I was like, dude, no, don't do that. Don't do stuff like that. Stick to the original dialogue and source material. Then dubbing is fine. But sub, you get the proper emotion. You get like this feeling of you understand their emotions when they're doing their dialogue. and some of the names for the teams and everything. Like, let me, like, as an example, like say Sword Art Online. There is a villainous team in there called Laughing Coffin. When you hear that name in subbed, it sounds threatening. When you hear it dubbed, it sounds hilarious. So that is my way of interpreting it. Subbed over dubbed, but I would love dubbed if it's done right.
If it's done well, yeah.
I would say the same thing, that I prefer sub over dub, because in sub you get the right emotion. That never happened in dub, as much as I know that. It feels so weird when you heard a dubbing of some anime that you used to watch in a sub. That is why I'm not in that much fan of a dubbed anime. So I always stay in a sub category, not the dub one.
Yeah, the acting is always so much better in the sub.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I feel I'm a sub man. I like to watch my anime sub. However, I cannot deny that there are some anime that have done dub really well, such as Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo. They have fantastic dubs. But I'm a sub man. I prefer sub.
Did you say Samurai Champloo and Cowboy Bebop?
Yeah.
I haven't watched that in dub actually, just sub, so I don't know.
Oh, you should watch their dub. Their dub is really good. The dub is good when the creator of the anime endorses it.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, thank you for your time. Thank you to all the viewers watching now. I hope you got a little bit insight at cosplayers from Pakistan, the similarities we have with them as well as the differences. But I hope we can meet in person soon, whether we come to Pakistan or you guys come to Nepal for one of our conventions. And I think it will be an amazing experience. So thank you guys and good luck. Good luck to all the work you guys have been doing with the Sabeen Foundation as well and promoting cosplay culture in Pakistan. Wish you all the best and thank you so much for attending our Otaku Next Virtual Showcase.
Thank you
Thank
for
you
having
for
us.
Thank you so
having
much.
us.
Thank you for having us. It was so fun and hope to see you guys soon.
Yeah, even though we don't really know each other that well, it's nice that we can talk so passionately about the things we love.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly.
That is what cosplay is all about, actually. Being a geek and otaku is all about that. We can share our thoughts and with the people, even though we don't know each other that well, we understand each other
Yeah,
way better.
especially our feelings of how we feel towards these characters and shows that we've been watching and growing over the years, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Mutual understanding.
That is best thing in the cosplay community, that they don't discriminate you. They're like, oh, we all are same in the cosplay community.
Yep.
No one is bigger, no one is lower, or we all are same in the cosplay community.
Exactly.
Indeed.
Do you guys have any last words before we end this?
Have fun with the rest of the event and hope to see you guys one day soon.
It was so fun talking to you all, and maybe one day you guys come to Pakistan, or we might come to Nepal to attend the events, and it's gonna be one hell of fun. Till then, have a great day, stay safe, and yeah, peace from Pakistan.
Thanks everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed our talk. Stay true to yourself. Have a good day, and thanks for having us.
All right, thank you guys. Hope we can meet
Thank
in
you so
person, guys.